Okay, let's choose up. I'll take Jamal and Tutal. You can have Chubbs and Skippy. Let's go. My ball.
Okay. But you got skins.
Not a good negotiator? You don't have to be a good negotiator at McCarthy Chevrolet. McCarthy guarantees the lowest prices on a new Chevy or we'll pay you $10,000. We guarantee there's no need to shop anyplace else. McCarthy Chevrolet, I-35 and Santa Fe, Olathe.
Well, I'll tell you one guy that doesn't have to use his jet airplane to go back and forth between Lakeside and Heartland Park, Topeka is Darren Fuqua, who was the big winner of the Tom Carrick Memorial last night. $1,600 in his wallet after he walked out of Lakeside Speedway last night. Darren, congratulations. Big win for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Talk about how you were able to get up to where you were in position to win this race. Kind of walk us through the last. It was a heavy racetrack after all the rain yesterday afternoon. How'd you do it?
Oh, man, it was hammered down. In the heat race, it was too muddy. I couldn't hardly go. I mean, I couldn't see for the first 2 or 3 laps. I was getting mudded over so bad and ended up running out of tear-off, so I was clawing little patches to look through, and then finally I just figured I better just stay where I was. I was in my transfer spot anyways, so I just kind of moved to the bottom and survived. So, and then we started second row outside on the feature, and had to run pretty hard with Rick Beebe for 2 or 3 laps, and Bubba Harvey got away from us for a little bit. And I was trying to run him down. I wasn't catching him too fast, and then we got to a lap car, and I don't know, he kind of hesitated, and I put a slide job on him and went on to get the victory. So it was a good night.
This is Scott, Darren. You got to feel blessed that you got to start up front. It sounds like the track being hammered down, locked down fast last night, that it was important to start up front, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was probably hard to pass, and I don't know how much mud them guys were all getting on them back there, but just having a cleaner car without all the mud piled on it probably was an advantage too. So.
Yeah, did you say
I'm a little surprised Johnny Allen worked his way up through the field, though, started 24th and made it up to second. That's pretty impressive on a track with conditions like that.
Yeah, he's a good shoe. If anybody can find a way, Johnny will. So.
Yeah, were you worried about him at all there? I mean, there were some restarts there at the end. Did you feel you still, even though he was coming up through the field, you still had him covered?
Yeah, well, I knew he was second. He showed me his nose on the caution there. He pulled up beside me and tried to get me to make a mistake, I imagine. But
hey, I'm going to give you a little bit of a secret. I talked to Johnny after the race last night, and I asked him because that late restart, he'd already gained second place, but he started on the outside of the double file restart, and you would have thought that he would have chosen the inside. And I asked him, why did you choose the outside? He says, my receiver went down. I couldn't hear it and didn't know where I was in the lineup. So that was his explanation about that.
Yeah, he was asking in tech where he was supposed to go. He couldn't hear, and we were telling him, well, you're supposed to pick. So he's like, well, if I had to do that, I'd pick the inside.
Yeah.
So him and Rick View were talking about that. And,
yeah, well, who knows if that would have made any difference or not, that's for sure. But what a season you've had this year. You got the 4 wins at Lakeside Speedway, but at BriggsAuto.com Speedway at Heartland Park, Topeka, 5 wins, and you pretty much locked up the points over there, have you not?
Yeah, I think I could miss the rest of the season and still win the points there. I think we're like 160 points out, so I think there's only 3 races left. So,
Darren, what's it mean to win that Tom Carrick Memorial? That is one of the marquee events at Lakeside. You've got the Jayhawk, obviously, and the Tom Carrick Memorial. Those are the 2 granddaddies of them all. And I knew Tom. He was a great man and great father to Tim. What's it mean to you to win that race?
It means a lot to me and my team also. We've kind of been in a dry spell for the last month and a half, and it was nice to finally come back and to get a big win. We needed that so we could kind of get some momentum going again, and we're putting in a lot of time and hard work on a car, and it takes wins like that to keep us all motivated. So.
What's been the cause of that dry spell, do you think?
It was just tough competition, and we've had a little bit of bad luck. We went to Lucas Oil and was fast. Johnny won at Lucas Oil. We ran second to him, and it was kind of a reverse deal. I got in a lap wreck on the first lap, and I went all the way to the back and came all the way to second and got second to him at Lucas. I mean, we've been fast. I don't know, it just takes a little bit of luck to win races. So.
Yeah. Darren, what are you going to do for the rest of the year? Obviously, you're running for points, but are you going to venture out once you get everything wrapped up here and try to do some USMTS? You mentioned Lucas Oil Speedway. What if you're going to reach out, or are you going to go to some other tracks?
I don't know. We'll see what comes about. There's quite a few big shows locally. I mean, like you mentioned, the Jayhawk. I think the Jayhawk's in 2 weeks, so hopefully we can do well on that deal. It would be awesome, or to win it would, be outstanding. And then Briggs Auto, Oklahoma Speedway's always got a 2-day race at the end of the year that we run. So it's usually, Dotson and Phillips and all them come down. So we got them 2 deals. And if anything else comes about, I'd definitely like to run if the USMTS is close. I like running with them guys. But I don't know what their schedule is like for sure.
Hey, Darren, a little bit of controversy at Heartland Park, Topeka last Saturday night. The feature ended on a green-white checker finish after what apparently the checkered flag, no yellow was thrown, but the checkered flag thrown to Justin Johnson. They went back to a green-white checker finish, and Josh Eberhardt took the lead, came out on top, created a little bit of a stir there at the end. I guess I was talking with Terry Wantland last night, and he said that he said on the receivers yellow, but the flagman didn't throw it before Justin Johnson took the checkered flag. Your thoughts about that and how that should have been handled?
Well, if you've thrown the leader to the checkered flag and everybody went through and they all got the checkered, then the race is over. I mean, you can't take it from a guy like that. The wreck was actually after the race. The wreck was in number 2 turn. They all got the checkered and went into 1 and 2. I mean, after, you know what I mean? So I felt like they kind of gypped Justin Johnson out of it. Josh was obviously faster at the end than Justin was to get around him, but he should have never had the opportunity. So.
Did you hear the call for the yellow flag on your receiver before the checkered flag?
Well, we had some more bad luck. I got wrecked first or second lap, and I was watching the race. So.
Yeah, but anytime you throw the checkered flag, the race has to be over. That's just not fair to Johnson to go back there and take that away from him. I'm a little surprised, to be honest with you, because, Terry Wantland's pretty consistent, and that just doesn't seem like something that he would be involved with once that checkered flag's flown. I understand that he made the call for the yellow, but the fact is, once that car takes that checkered, it has to be official at that point.
Yeah, it's definitely official. If you ask me, I mean, if I'm coming around there, I get the checkered, I'm done. I mean, I think it should be. Especially if the wreck is, behind you. There was no cars coming through the wreck to get through to the checkered. You know what I mean? So it wasn't a safety deal.
What about this? What if you had the restart and then somebody's car gets totaled out because of the restart? After they've thrown the checkered, they think the race is over. Now they're telling them, all right, go out there and do a green-white checkered. And now your car gets tore up. I'd be pretty ticked off if that happened to me.
Yeah. Like all the fans and everything had walked out of the stands. All the drivers walked back to their pits, and everybody had to turn around. Like, what's going on? The race is over. They even announced it over. We all seen them get the checkered. We couldn't. I don't know. It was bogus.
Well, the explanation that he gave was, I called it on the race receivers, but the race receivers are fine for an added feature to help with safety and the like. But shouldn't the flags and the lights out on the track take precedence over everything?
Yeah, the flag man should have the call and the say, not the guy that's talking on a receiver.
Which leads me back to this. If Terry Wantland is a terrific flagman, I think he is, why don't he just flag the races himself?
Yeah. Yep, I don't know. It's kind of hard when you got a puppet master, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well said.
Everything happens so fast. You can't have a chain of command like that. You got to have the guy on the stand that's making calls as they happen.
Well, I agree with you, because the flagman really has the best view of anybody. He's right up all over the track. He's got the best seat in the house. So who better to make the calls than the flag? Can he walk and chew gum at the same time? I say yes. The flagman back in the old days, flagman had total control. I remember working at a track one time, and for several years up in Iowa, where the flagman was the owner of the racetrack. He flagged the races. He did it all. He handled it quite well. So it can be done.
Yep. Yeah, I kind of feel like they're taking some of the they're taking a lot away from the flagman nowadays. I don't know. They got people in the tower, and then you got a race director, and there's just too many chiefs, not enough Indians, I guess. So.
No, I agree. Well, hey, listen, Darren, congratulations on your win last night, man, and the $1,600 that you brought home. Good luck to you in a couple weeks out there at the Jayhawk. That's a big one. It's going to pay, I think, a little bit more than that. So looks like you got yourself set. Hey, I want to ask you a question real quick before I let you go.
Yeah.
Last night, a little different setup than you're used to running out at Lakeside. It's been pretty slick out there. Man, you really probably had to throw a lot at your car last night when it was heavy and tacky like that.
Yeah, I knew it had to be free. I couldn't be too tight out there, so I freed it up as much as I thought I safely could without, getting it too terribly loose. So,
yeah.
I actually at one point thought about taking the spoiler off because I thought I'd be faster without it, and the way the spoiler was catching all the mud.
Yeah.
I thought, well, maybe I'll be better off. That might be the trick in this deal is, maybe outsmart everybody and take the spoiler off. But I'm glad I didn't, so it worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good luck to you tonight out at Heartland Park to be. I guess everything's still on out there tonight, right?
Yep, I got to go spend all my winnings at the car wash now, I think. So.
I knew the car washes would get great business today. No doubt about that.
Yeah. Thanks, Darren. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yep, thank you guys.
All right, we'll let you go. Thank you.